So I'm just gonna get straight to the question before I continue this video. How do you guys remember Bruce Lee dying? How old was he, and around what year? Leave that in the comment section. I'd like to see the responses. Um, and Yeah, so I was on Reddit, and Sunshine Crypto posted this. Anyone else remember Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee both dying from the same kind of freak prop gun accident, like 20 years apart under the same situation? They were both shooting for a movie, and the blanks being loaded incorrectly, resulting in the initial death of Bruce and Brandon some years later while filming The Crow. But that's not the way it happened to Bruce. So yeah, Brandon was shot on set. He was killed. But Bruce Lee, apparently in this reality, if you look it up and click on this link by history.com, Bruce Lee died by supposedly it's something in his brain, and they blamed it on the doctor because of the prescription painkiller that he prescribed to Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee was having headaches before his death. And yeah, so he had a brain. He died from something in his brain. Uh, Diana agrees, right? Yes, because of the fact that they died essentially the same way was talked about often after Brandon's death, and there were conspiracy theories. Yeah, if you look it up, there's a lot of conspiracy theories and rumors of how, why exactly Bruce Lee died. So I found this interesting. I wanted to make a video. I want to see what everyone remembers. Um, Let me see. Yeah, so if we look it up, Bruce Lee was born on November 27th, 1940, died on July 20, 1973. And let me see. I was trying to look for any evidence on the internet as much as I can. I think Mandela Effect is bullshit. This is posted on August 18, 2016. I think the Mandela Effect is bullshit, but I will say this. I remember Bruce Lee was shot and killed in a game of death, done a fly kick off a ledge, and was shot with a blank, but was a real bullet. Even remember the guy who played the bad guy, Stick, saying it was a tragedy. I know he died of a massive heart failure. I was in primary school then. This was years before it. The same thing happened to Brennan and Crow, and saying to the mates the same thing happened to his dad. Anyone remember Bruce Lee died of being accidentally shot? Yeah, so apparently this is another website, above top secret, and this guy is saying the same thing as Sunshine Crypto on Reddit.com. So they're having the same memories and dying on set. But apparently, there's people also remembering him dying of having heart failure or heart attack or something. So I mean, people are remembering different ways of Bruce Lee dying. It's really weird. It's pretty strange. Um, this was an interesting website because I wanted to. I like this article, A History of Mystery. One of the greatest mysteries surrounds one of the greatest men who ever lived. Bruce Lee was without question the greatest martial artist of all time. Bruce Lee's death is still unexplained and will likely stay that way. He died in 1973. At the age of 32, Bruce Lee's death was not only suspicious but baffling. It is said he was experiencing a headache and took a prescription painkiller to relieve the pain. When he lay down for a nap to allow the painkiller to go work, he didn't wake back up. He fell into a mysterious coma which is still unexplained. The official cause of his death was listed as a brain swelling, cerebral edema, which was caused by a reaction to the muscle relaxant and the painkiller, but his death is still considered unexplained. The name of the painkiller he took for his headache was reportedly called Equagesic. At the end of the Dragon Lee Bruce Lee story, his wife's statement says Bruce Lee fell into a mysterious coma and died. This film was released in the early 1990s, two decades after his death. After Bruce Lee's death, many theories arose as to how and why he died. Theories ranging from the effects of Dimax to a family curse. The latter may have some truth to it, as a year after Dragon was released, Bruce Lee's son Brandon mysteriously died. His cause of death was obvious, but the way it happened was baffling and still unsolved. More on Brandon Lee's death here. All these years later, people still wonder about the way he died. I prefer to remember him the way he lived. That was a quote. That was a nice quote. But yeah, I want to see what you guys remember. How did you remember learning Bruce Lee dying? I try to go on Twitter, and I try to find as many tweets, but there's so many tweets. It's hard because Brandon Lee, his son, was shot on set. So, but I want to know who remembers learning Bruce Lee getting shot on set. So I only found a few tweets. I'm gonna read them. This whole time I thought it was Bruce Lee who died by the gun on set, but that was his son. Pay attention to the dates as well. LOL. I thought Bruce Lee was killed on set, then Jet Li died somehow. Reading up on Bruce Lee tonight. Randomly, all this time I thought he was killed on set. Turns out that was his son Brandon. You're right. I thought for the longest time Bruce Lee was accidentally shot on set. My bad. Yeah, so that's the only ones I found interesting that can sort of relate to this possible Mandela effect that Bruce Lee. There is a reality where Bruce Lee did get shot on set as well. Not just Brandon Lee, his son. And, yeah. So, one thing I like to mention, too, I did find out that apparently Brandon Lee's killer died last year at the age of 61. His name was Michael Massey. That was interesting to find out that he just died recently. Yeah, so if you guys, if any of you remember Bruce Lee dying on set by a real bullet, not just acting, like the video. If you guys don't, dislike this video. Not a Mandela effect for me, but I found this really interesting because there's a lot of conspiracies, rumors, and a lot of people remember him dying different ways and different times. So I want to see everyone's take on that, and I'll leave it at that later.
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Hello dear awakened ones from all around the world. We are anonymous. We have watched over you in the past years, and we have seen your progress of understanding the world we are living in. We have seen you gather into groups and begun fighting the corporate-controlled corrupt governments. All of you, programmers, workers, social engineers, police officers, hackers, all of you have gathered in small groups and shared your knowledge to what is wrong with this world and what can be done to change it. However, you have made a critical mistake. The information you have must be spread worldwide, and all over the internet, not just into your groups. The people that have joined those groups already know the truth, or most of it of course. Our job is to provide evidence to the people that want to see the truth, and spread this knowledge to the people that have no idea of what is going on. It is obvious to see that people are not ignorant, they are either uninformed or disinformed. So we need to inform these people that are still asleep, watching everyday corporate-controlled mainstream television and entertainment-like shows. Millions of people that spend their time talking about foolish things, about what celebrities do. Wake them up, show them and provide to them the evidence needed, so they can see what the true reality is. Of course, most of them will ignore you. But just think how many people we can awake, if we start spreading the truth all over the internet, and in the streets, in which people are just wasting their life and time on nonsense issues. Spread the word, and let everyone know what their mission is. We do not need to fight those corrupt politicians, those corporate paid bankers. Those same people that are trying to enslave the world. Because a well-informed, fearless, and brave human is an impossible target for the New World Order. They know very well they cannot control free men. No matter what laws they make, or false flag operations they create. Let us help our brothers and sisters. Let us create a new world. A world of peace and justice. A world of reason. A world in which every man has everything needed, so we can all evolve together. The human species is a living organism, and evolution cannot be stopped. To these so-called rulers of our world, you are holding all of us back. You cannot hold evolution back. You are in the way, and you will be removed once and for all. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. They cannot stop us. They cannot stop the future. The human race does not need governments anymore. Expect us to take our planet back.